So this reading is for a Pisces. This reading's actually my reading. So if anyone is also a Pisces with a life path 11 and North Node Sagittarius, well, I'm going to be able to pull into that energy really well because it's my energy. So this reading is for Pisces, Sagittarius moon, ascendant Libra, life path 11 with a North Node in Sagittarius. So that is the life path of a wandering healer or a nomadic healer or a wounded healer. Basically, your purpose is to help others on a spiritual path to ascension, but you do this by healing yourself first. So earlier in life, you're going to encounter a lot of wounds and obstacles. But as you clear those, then you yourself ascend, and then you can help others ascend. All right, so let's see what this full moon energy is about for you. I mean, I know it's my reading, but I'm going to say you because, like, if somebody else wants to watch a Pisces reading, then I'm talking to you. Okay, so just to clear that up, I'm not that weird. Okay, so what is the moon trying to get you to clear here? Oh, look at that sadness. All right, so there's definitely, you've been healing some wounds, but more than just like healing these wounds, you've kind of been like licking old wounds, ruminating on old wounds. Okay, there's this energy here of the single independent woman, like I don't need no man energy. It's relying on independence where you don't want to count on anybody else. And what's beneath that is a fear of heartbreak. So you've had too much heartbreak, and so it kind of like shuts you off to where you're like too independent. Okay. Okay. So this is the first chakra energy. So what's at the base or the heart of this is insecurities. And these insecurities are blocking you. Okay. But you have a possibility for a lot of growth in this area. There's a new life that awaits you, and you got to stop focusing on the past. Okay. Stop focusing on the heartbreaks of the past or the people of the past. Get out of this energy. All right, so let's see why you're having trouble clearing this energy. Okay. All right, so this is moving on. So you have trouble moving on emotionally from something. You might feel responsible for somebody or taking on too much responsibility for people that you care about. So, they kind of need you, possibly. You need to, this is growing in your personal power. So you need to grow in your personal power. Like, what about you? What about your needs and wants? Stop waiting around. This also could mean that you're waiting around because you're trying to fix the situation or you think it might work in the future. So it's like waiting on somebody, like waiting on somebody's potential, but they never really get to their potential. So you're just like waiting on the idea of somebody. It's kind of like that energy a little bit. So there's some stuckness here with people from an energy that's what you're supposed to move on from. Let's see what lessons you're learning. All right, so through this process, you have learned some lessons here. Okay. We've definitely got a lesson in give and take. Okay, so stop being a martyr. That's not helping you. So you had to learn some lessons in give and take. There's some people that just take, and you're just going to give. So you stop doing that. Okay, there's like a balance that needs to be in any relationship. There needs to be a balance between energy exchange. So is it all coming from you to the other person? Well, that's out of balance, okay? So that's one of the lessons that you're learning, a lesson here is really to learn to walk away from people. So this trouble that you're having moving on, getting stuck with people that, you think that they need your help, because, well, you're a healer. So this is very common for healer people that are healer life purposes. They get involved with wounded people and then they invest a lot, and maybe they shouldn't. Maybe you should learn when to give up. Oh yeah. So learn to speak up for yourself and speak your truth. And this means cut out people that don't serve you. You don't need to befriend everybody. You don't need to stay friends forever with everybody. Cut out people that aren't serving you, okay? And take all that nourishing, is that the right word? Nourishing that you do for other people and give it to yourself. That's your lessons, okay? So you have been learning this lesson for a while, and hopefully you've learned it. I know in my personal case, this is something that I've learned. So I've put this past me. But if you're a Pisces and a healer life purpose and you're watching this and you haven't learned this lesson yet, it really, let's see, how did I learn the lesson? It really started with here, because I was like, you know what? I'm not getting in return nearly what I'm investing. And that's not really fair to myself. So when I started nurturing myself, then I started speaking up. And I also just started cutting people out. I started cutting cords, is what I called it to myself. I'm just going to cut that cord with that person, and I'm no longer going to worry if they're okay. I had several, golly, I'm in a 7-year cycle right now, so I'm just ending a 7-year cycle, and I have so many of these situations. It's just sick. Like off the top of my head, I can think of maybe 5. And these are like deep relationships that I've had for like 20 years that I've cut the cord to more recently. Because, at the end of the day, I was not getting what I was giving with any of those people. There's a lot of people in relationships that I've kind of created that have just learned to just take and take and take from me, particularly money-wise. But other ways too, just in my energy, everything. All right. So what is the full moon bringing me? Okay. This has got to be the coolest 8 of Swords card I've ever seen. So, and it's in reverse. So the 8 of Swords, if it's not reversed, okay, don't look at this girl here, right? It's just like this trapped in fear. Is another deck that I have, calls it Trapped in Fear, and I like that one too. But yeah, it looks kind of like that. So when it's reversed, it's like in the reflection, which is really cool. So it's trapped in fear, but it's using your past in order to keep you stuck. Okay? So, don't get bogged down in those connections that you were supposed to cut the cords from. Don't get bogged down in thinking, oh, well, maybe they're sad that, I'm not giving them my attention anymore. You don't need to be thinking about that. Okay. And the reason why is because you're approaching this precipice. Okay. So the magician is manifestation. So you can have everything that you've dreamed your future to be, but right now, at this moment, and this would be within the last week and coming up to a week, but this is the energy that you're in. You're in this space between action and healing. Okay? So it's like you have a vision of where you want to go, but first you need you need to just rest a little bit, okay? And so you do have the healing card. And it's important to just be by yourself and take some time by yourself right now. Okay, that's the energy you're in. You're in a solo energy. Okay, and this is why. This is important. So you are having a total transformation of yourself. So whatever you were in the past is like doesn't exist anymore. And that makes sense, like for me particularly, because that's how 7-year cycles work. So when you end a cycle, you're like, wow, who were all those people I was hanging out with, and what the hell was I talking about, and who was I? And like all of a sudden you're just like a different person. So this is kind of like the final healing transformation. This is a final, it can be like a final transformation. Or a step completion. Okay. It's like a step completion. And then if you picture it like a staircase, okay. And it's like in this stage, here's all the things that I had. Here's all the wounds that I got. Here's all the lessons that I had to learn. Okay. And then I'm completing that and I'm moving to the next step. And so in order to do that, there's a total transformation that has to happen from this step to the next step. Now, there will be other lessons and stuff to happen on the next step, but I'm saying that this step, this cycle, this one's done. Okay. So that's where that's why you got the Magician. So you're going to be manifesting a whole new stair. Don't get trapped up in your past. Okay. You are moving on from your past. You're moving on from all those people. You are moving on from that energy. You're moving on from those wounds. You're moving on from those insecurities. Okay. You're taking some time to yourself. And you're moving on from all of that stuff. It's that energy isn't even going to be in you anymore. It's going to be completely foreign to you. All right. So what's coming up in the next 6 months? Look who you have here. Okay. So let's see what I wrote down on all these cards. So you've got a dream. Okay. You got a dream and you got to go chase it. You are definitely moving on emotionally and physically, or energetically. I mean, it can mean like for me personally, I'm actually moving physically. So in the next couple months, I will locate to a different place. And that's where I'm going to start my new step. It's going to be in a completely different place with completely different people. So everything about me is about to change. But maybe it's not as drastic for you. Maybe you're just moving on emotionally. And anyway, energetically, it's like an entire shedding of your old self to a new self of you. And you have a vision of that self. Okay, so you can make this become a reality. Okay, this is you. This is your this is your wild self. There is still a little bit of lingering mental conflict here. It hurts to move on. I'm not going to lie, because you feel, there's people that you're leaving. So that does hurt, and it's going to cause a little bit of mental conflict. But this is the ultimate transformation. Okay. So when I saw this, I thought of this Bible verse. I went to private Christian school most of my life. So I had to learn theology as a class. We took Bible like, somebody would take like English, But anyway, we had to memorize Bible verses. And this reminds me of a Bible verse. It's in Corinthians. And I can't remember what the actual chapter was or exactly word for word what it said. But essentially it said something like, I am the new creation. Let's see, what does it say? I am the new creation. The past has washed away. Behold, the new is here. And it's in Corinthians, so it's going to be Paul talking to the church in Corinthians and talking about what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And Paul talked a lot about like converting to Christianity because he was talking to the Gentiles. So they weren't already Jewish, you know what I'm saying? So they had to convert to a whole new thing for them, like with a totally different God and everything. Anyway, so in converting to Christianity, when you are baptized, so to speak, in the Holy Spirit of Jesus, you become a new person. You're a new creation. The what you are in the past is no longer you. Okay. I'm not saying to go convert yourself to Christianity by any means. What I'm saying is the energy. Okay. That's the energy that is coming to you in the next 6 months. Okay. Behold, the new is here. All right. It's a new creation of yourself. So let's see how this affects you. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely. Okay. Not only does love begin, but you got multiple offers. So you are going to be in a situation with possibly a couple of different people having interest in you. That always feels good. But, you got to go inside of yourself, okay? Be discerning. You don't want to get yourself back in the same energy that you were in here. Don't get yourself back in this energy, okay? So remember the give and take. Is somebody investing as much in you as you will in them? Keep that in mind, all right? But be discerning, all right? You're going to have some offers, and this is in like the next 6 months. Again, this is another one, meaning be discerning. Okay, so be discerning, okay? You don't have to feel bad for rejecting people. Just feel what your heart, where you want to go with that, and pay attention. And then act in accordance with your own heart. Don't worry about protecting somebody else's feelings. Just, if you don't want to date the person, don't date the person. Because you might have a couple. There's adjacent possibilities, okay? So there's a couple of love offers. And again, this is not necessarily right now at this moment, because at this moment, you're in this energy. You're in solo energy right now. But this is 6 months in the future. All right, so what is the outcome? All right. Whatever you dream that you want for yourself, you can have it. You can have it, okay? This is a passionate idea, a passionate project, something that you've really been wanting to do, and you can do it now. Just remember that sometimes dreams cost money, okay? So don't be super frivolent with your money. This in order to build stuff, it's going to cost money. Just spend wisely, okay? Thriftily. Don't go crazy. And then basically you just got to flow into it, all right? Flow into this dream, all right? You feel the passion. The passion's there. You want to do it. This is your dream. Flow into it. Flow into the balance. So make sure that there's a balance, okay? There's a balance of give and take. There's a balance of work and play. There's a balance of rest and create. All things in balance. Yin yang, my friend. All right. That is your reading. And that is my dog, Precious. Hi, Precious. Hope you enjoyed it.